Our second finalist for the Senior McKinney is John Hern, whose speech is titled A Power Plant Divided.
Over this past year, we've increasingly seen the dramatic effects of climate change. According to NASA, this last summer was the hottest on record, bringing heat waves, wildfires, and flooding around the globe. We've continued to see it into this winter. In a season when we should have 5 or 6 days under zero, we've only had one. These rising temperatures are due to the release of greenhouse gases associated with the burning of fossil fuels, which we need to power the modern economy. This release of greenhouse gases has had and will continue to have a significant effect on life on this planet. If we wish to keep the Earth safe, we have to start looking for cleaner sources of energy, things that release little to no greenhouse gases at all. Now, for a lot of people, this usually means renewable energy, things like solar power, wind power, hydroelectric power. And certainly, these are all very good options. But I think we're missing something if we fail to consider one of our other choices, nuclear power. In a lot of people's minds, nuclear power is too dangerous to use and unnecessary when we have all of these renewable options. But I think that's something of a fallacy. If we truly wish to move to a world where we don't have to use fossil fuels, we need to recognize that nuclear power is far safer than we give it credit for. And not only that, but it works perfectly alongside renewable sources of energy. Now, the fears about nuclear power aren't completely unfounded. There have been nuclear incidents in the past, most famously Chernobyl in 1986 and Fukushima in 2011. These were horrible events where many people perished and have continued to have significant effects on the world around them. But these accidents don't happen in a vacuum. It's not as though the plants were working completely fine and then they suddenly exploded. The reactors had been damaged in other incidents, fires, earthquakes, tsunamis. The people who work with this material know that it's dangerous. Safety and security are among the topmost priorities of nuclear technicians. But some things simply can't be planned for. Like any other industry, nuclear power has had to develop safety standards after the fact. You can't predict everything that's ever going to happen. But this has been effective. According to the World Nuclear Association's 2022 report on nuclear safety, there have only been 3 major nuclear incidents worldwide in the industry's 60-year history. 2 of them are Chernobyl and Fukushima, which we've already addressed. And the third is 1976's 3 Mile Island. This incident looms large, especially in American culture. But the fact of the matter is, the incident was almost entirely contained. There were no deaths or injuries associated with it, and there have been no proven long-term consequences of it. It is dangerous. Accidents are scary, I know, but think of it this way. You receive more radiation from getting a single X-ray than you do from living next to a nuclear power plant for a year. If you're not afraid of the former, do you really have any reason to be afraid of the latter? But I don't want you to get the wrong impression either. I don't want you to walk away from this thinking that I'm some sort of nuclear energy pundit who's against renewable sources of energy. Renewable sources of energy are great, and they're getting better all the time. With each passing year, they're both more efficient and cheaper. But there's not perfect. There are flaws, and one of the big ones is that a lot of them rely on specific conditions to work at their best. If you build a nuclear power plant anywhere from Albany to Albuquerque, it will work the same, rain or shine. If you build a solar field, even if it's the biggest one in the world, it's not going to make that much power at night. The sunlight simply isn't there. To prove my point a little further, Let's take a look at a 2021 study by Dan Tong and many others. They simulated what a lot of the world's most power-hungry countries could do if their power grids were consisted solely of solar and wind energy. What they found was that, for the most part, these were enough. But that's only for the most part. Most of their energy could be met, but even in the perfect conditions, even when they're producing far more power than they need on a given day, even if they have as much storage as they can, sometimes the power would run out. It's not a problem with the technology. It's not like it's not efficient enough. It's just that the natural variations of the things that they need are enough to disrupt it. Nuclear power would form a perfect complement to this. It's like wine and cheese. They're both very different, but they go together extremely well. When we didn't have enough solar or wind power, we could always rely on those nuclear power plants running no matter what's going on. The longer we argue about it, the more chances for terrible things to happen occur. I worked here over the summer with the reunion. And mere days before the alumni were supposed to come onto campus, the air was actively dangerous to breathe due to wildfire smoke. Nuclear power is not some sort of silver bullet that will instantly solve all of our problems. We can't use it to power the entire world by itself. But not only is that unfeasible, it's not really desirable. And it's not even a fair question to ask of it. Would you say that the entire world should be powered by solar energy or hydroelectric energy or geothermal energy? No. We can see the limits and strengths of each different power source. Nuclear's strength is that no matter where you put it, it will work just the same. Nuclear power already does a lot in this country, but we need to take it further, not just here, but worldwide, and not just for our present, but for our future as well. Thank you.